All right, 4 seasons in, and nightmares just blah 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 blah. Take two. We're live though, but you know what happens. 4 seasons in, and the nightmares just getting started. You already know what it is. Lights, camera, culture, action. Well, that was a fail. We're live. Stuff happens. Trying something different, but it didn't work out. But for those of you who don't know who we are, my name is RJ,
And I'm Jay, Hero Harrison.
and we are Team Silverside. We're waiting for Dr. J to get on. She's running a little behind, but we figured we go ahead and get the party started a little, well, not early, we're late, but we figured we get the party started. So this episode, we're going to be talking about all things from seasons 1 through 4. So if you have not seen seasons 1 through 4, feel free to pause this live and come back because we will be talking everything that happened from episodes 1 through 4. We'll be somewhat giving predictions. I've already seen some of the new season, so I can't really predict because I feel like that's fake. But yeah, we're gonna. Oh, Dr. J is here. Hey, Dr. J, how you doing? All right, we're live.
Yes.
We're live. We're live. We're on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So everybody, this is Dr. J. We literally just started like a minute and 30 seconds ago, so you're good. All right. Yeah, so we're gonna give kind of like a general overview of seasons 1 through 4 and just kind of talk about how we feel about everything that's been happening so far. We're not gonna give, well, Dr. J and I are not gonna give full predictions because we are kind of privileged to have seen a little bit of the new season. So rather than being fake and acting like we don't know what's gonna happen, we're just gonna shut up on that. Yeah. So let me get y'all thoughts on seasons 1 through 4 overall. How do you feel like the show is going? Do you feel like the fan base is strong? Like, what are your thoughts on season 4? We'll start with Dr. J.
I feel like people are excited for the new season. I feel like they are ready for it.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like from base has grown over the last couple of years, honestly. I think it when it originally started, I feel like nobody knew of it because I don't know if MGM was like on the top of people's subscription list, essentially. I mean, I started watching on Amazon Prime, and then eventually after a certain episode, Amazon's like, yeah, so if you want to continue, you gotta get MGM. So I don't know if MGM was on the top, but I really feel like I think I did see them post this as well that From is the #1 stream show on MGM.
Yeah.
So I feel like the fan base has definitely grown. I feel like the theories. I see some videos and how people are breaking down From and breaking down like the aspects of it. I'm just like, y'all must have a PhD in Fromville because how did you find that little Easter egg from episode 2, season 1, and connected it to episode 10 in season 3 and connect them together because Fatima took 2 steps to the left and Victor counted 1 less tree. So
Victor used the blue crayon. Like what?
Yeah, so I feel like the From verse has grown. I feel like the fan base has grown. Internationally, it's grown as well. So yeah, and I think it's only going to get better. I think there's going to be another season. I think I did see that there should be a season 5. I'm not sure, but I feel like it's going to continue to grow. So,
yeah. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, I think I agree with what most of Dr. J said. I think that the fan base is growing. I think a lot of people just didn't really know what it was or weren't at least subscribed to MGM or Apple TV or anything like that at the time. Although I think that now we're in a place where, okay, at least if you've been watching it consistently, that let's get some answers, because I feel like a lot of people are at that point where it's like, it's starting to turn, because I've heard so many people say, oh, this is the 100 all over again. Oh, this is this is like similar to this show, which I understand to an extent, but I really feel like that people will still watch regardless because it's still like interesting and it's still lasting long enough to keep us in the loop and all that. So I think that people are still going to watch, even though we may not get all the answers that we want. because I still think the show is captivating and it still is growing, and more people are interested. Because I mean, it's it's like a psychological thriller,
Yeah.
horror-ish kind of show.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people like going that route because it's just so interesting. But I'm excited to see what happens in the future. I think that From is going to get better, and I think it will have more of a fan base going forward.
No, absolutely. I agree with both of you saying. I think the fandom from them, whatever you want to call it, has definitely grown exponentially. Like Dr. J, I also got hooked on the free trial. I watched it on Prime Video, and I got hooked. And then I think when you get to I think it shows you like the first like 2 or 3, and then they're like, yeah, subscribe to MGM Plus, and I did. And to be honest, like I'm really hoping that when From ends, that MGM can find something to replace that, because I don't know of any other shows that people are watching. The one that there was another show, I think Dr. J, you would tell me, is it Earth Abides or something like that? That was on there, but then they canceled it. So it's like they don't really have a strong, that I see anyway. They don't really have a strong catalog. So From is really on network right now, and yeah.
And you know what? Now that I think about it, so Earth Abides, I definitely love that show. I feel like it didn't catch on as much as I thought it would with people. It didn't resonate. And it was also short. It was a micro show, right? So it was kind of like one and done, beginning and end, all in one season. So I don't believe how it ended. They really left room for another season unless they go out of their way to do it. But now that we talk about MGM, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, what other shows are on there? Because I don't know, right? But they might have some gems, right? I feel like that is an untapped market of content for us, really. Right. We got to go on there, see what else is streaming, and bring it to people, because I don't know. So who else knows what's on there? And it might be some other shows that are just as good as From, but they don't have the fandom behind it yet. So I feel like that's kind of an untapped market. Maybe someone listening might take that idea. I don't know.
But From has such a strong fan base, and that what I like about it is the fans are so passionate. This is the kind of show where, like, you ever watch The Walking Dead and The Talking Dead After, when they would have an Yvette Nicole Brown on there, and she had a notebook of everything that happened on The Walking Dead. And so this is the kind, I call this a notebook kind of show. You can't watch this show and forget about what happens, because stuff that happens going forward won't make sense. And so I feel like the show, to what Jay said earlier, I think they have enough to keep people engaged and interesting, because so much happens. I was kind of doing research earlier, and there was an interview that the creators or the writers were saying, and they said the answers to the whole thing are in the first episode. The answer to everything's in the first episode. So I did some I went back and watched episode 1. If you remember, when the Matthews family was running into that funky colony house, right? There was a boy that said, "Julie," and she was like, "What? I don't know you. Who are you?" And they have rushed them into the house. And so now that we know that Julie is a what did Ethan call a story walker? So who's to say that at some point in time Julie didn't go further back than when everybody was in town? You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like that first episode was the key to us realizing that Julie had been there before with the way time works.
Yeah, I've been seeing stuff like that, and I think it's so interesting because I think people's the human eye travels to certain places when you watch stuff, but I think you can't always catch everything in one episode unless you are one of those people that like pauses at like certain moments or something. Like, oh, I gotta write this down. I mean, that's fine, but I think there might be some things that we just missed out on, and that were right in front of our faces. But I mean, to be fair, it was like the first season, so we didn't really know what to expect.
Right.
So I think the last thing on our minds is like to go back and be like, oh yeah, because this is going to happen in season 4. Like we didn't know that. But and the last thing I wanted to mention is that but I think with MGM too, MGM kind of reminds me of Peacock, because I feel like there's only like a certain amount of shows that people know about, and I really think that it's so important to like put certain shows on a platform, especially if it's on like on the rise or something like that, because then I think you can get more of a crowd to travel to MGM or wherever you watch, or Prime or whatever it is, to actually be interested in the show, which I think a lot of people are starting to recognize because they're hearing all these theories and stuff, and I think people are eventually going to subscribe.
It's funny that you compare it to Peacock because I definitely canceled them last month. but here's the thing: Peacock had Bel Air, so and that's why I kept them, because of Bel Air. So they have gems, absolutely. But they also got Traders on there, so that's another gem on there. But I think it has to be like people. I think people are different now, right? Even like you could tell the difference between the From fan base. I mean, season 4 is just about to drop. We waited what, a year and a half? Between the no, more than that. That was October of last year, right? No, October 2024. 24, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25. No,
24.
24, yeah, dang.
It's 24, I think.
Yeah, it was October 2024 ish, November, October. So we've been waiting a year, like you said, a year, 6 months, essentially. And for people to be waiting that long, the world has literally gone crazy the last year and 6 months. And we're just here like, so the 19th is coming up. What is season 4 going to drop? The 19th on its way. So I think like I said, from fandom is completely different. I definitely think it gives vibes, like you said, of Walking Dead. It might even give vibes of Paradise in certain ways. I think it does give vibes of Paradise, but I'm gonna stick beside MGM versus Peacock every day. I'm gonna stick behind MGM when it comes to content.
I feel like now that we're talking about it, like From is such a good show that there's got to be more. They can't.
There has to be more.
There has to be more. You know, with the quality of like television that they give us, like. They give us a leading, a black acting legend as the leading man on their flagship show, and a cast of relatively unknowns and seasoned actors. And the formula just works. The mystery, the performances on this show are phenomenal. You know, Donna, hands down, my favorite character. Better than Randall, by the way.
Oh, way better than Randall.
Everybody's better than Randall. Kenny is better than Randall.
You know, everyone has an opinion these days, but everybody has an opinion. But who I stand is Harold, because if you're into 90s black TV, 90s black sitcom, to see Harold in a different role outside of the roles we've seen him in traditional black sitcom and black shows, this is a whole different character for him. And excuse me if I'm missing a couple shows in between, right? But from what I know from Harold, from the 90s black sitcom and TV shows and movies to where he is and from, I'm like, I see him in such a different light. And I'm like, the range of his acting is superb, right? The range, like to play Boyd sends me through all the feels, okay? From season 1, 2, and 3. Boyd has driven me crazy. I've liked Boyd. I've been angry at Boyd. And then at some point, I'm like, Boyd can't be our leader no more because Boyd be doing too much. Like now Boyd got favoritism because his son married. It's crazy. But I do love the cast too. And like you said, the Donna, to watch your real life husband die on the show is kind of crazy.
Dale had it coming though. Dale had it coming from a mile away.
He had it coming.
Yeah, he had it coming. He had it coming. Dale is one of those characters to me that it's like he played a background character for so long, but his death was so loud. Like he was in the background, but then as soon as he's like, well, I'm going through the tree next, I was like, you going through the pool. The side of it, actually. But I feel like he was a good background character. But when it was his time to be like on the main screen, he did a really, really good job. But I feel like From has a lot of those characters, though. Like they take a lot of good background characters and give them these super main roles that they become part of the whole entire cast. Like there's so much of them. Like even like Sarah has. I'm sorry.
No, so I think that's done on purpose too, because you need an infinite amount of people to kill. Like with The Walking
Yeah.
Dead, stuff like that, with the different towns and cities. You have background characters that are on screen. You'll see them often, and you have people that background characters that you see for like one episode and you'll never see them again. Hell, some of the monsters that were in season one, we ain't seen them people since.
You're right. Honestly, I was
Yeah.
surprised Bacta became. I was surprised by Bacta's character from
Yeah.
bus driver to
Whatever she
where
is now.
wherever she is now. But I thought she was gonna have a one-off character because we be dying quickly in some of these shows. But I
Yeah.
also appreciate From for that, for keeping our people alive throughout a horror.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
to add to both of your points, I think you both said the exact same thing like perfectly. Is that what I really like about this show is the fact that you have, because like I like this in general. When they do this in movies and TV shows, is when you have like just one main like A-list actor, like A-lister, then you allow other people to come in that may not be as known to let them shine and not take away too much from the story, because they're still just as interesting, they're still just as captivating, and they push the story forward, and you also connect to them in a whole different way. And they may not be known like like the Jack Blacks or like the Pedro Pascals or whoever, but Harold, I think I don't want to say it's like paranoid. Yeah, I think paranoid. Yeah, but I think he's been in the game for a long time. And like this show is really, to Jay's point, is a I think a beacon to so many layers of a character that he has not really played in the past. Because in the past he's played other characters really well. But I think that this character that he's playing is so like multi-layered and multifaceted, I should say, I guess, because he's, like Jay said, he's making us go through all these feelings. Like sometimes, like, damn, Boyd, like, what are you doing? But it's like sometimes, like, oh, okay, Boyd, like I see.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this show is allowing him to shine in a whole different way from his career, and especially like as both of you mentioned, like that is being able to last as long, especially as a black lead.
Yeah.
So I think we're coming out of that trance of like, I was talking to Des about this, and I know she's not on the show today, but how I want to see more black people in fantasy. I want to see black people in more like situations where they are, it's not necessarily rooted in slavery. Because I think we're getting past those times and realizing that, like, hey, we can exist in just any world and do anything that anyone else can do. And when we get into that position, it's the acting, the environment, it doesn't matter what it is. Mm-hmm. We can shine in any form. And I think that Harold has done that fantastic job. And also carrying the cast of these other members too, to make them kind of like bounce off him as well, which feels really special and powerful as a black actor.
And one thing I will say about Harold too is, you ever notice when an actor is so big, you don't see the character, you see the actor. That's one problem that Harold does not have. Really, none. And it's a testament to the performance of the actors and actresses, also to the writing too, because every character feels like a real person, like they had a life before. Christy and her Christy or Marielle with her terrible bangs. Like you can tell, like she makes those bad decisions outside of From too. Like she feels like she just don't do the right thing ever. So Kenny always felt like he was a punk before he came to the town. So it's like it's one of them things where everybody feels real, and I think that's what pulls people in, because everyone doesn't feel like a caricature of what a character is supposed to be.
They make us they make us feel like they're actually human, and you can relate to so many things. And honestly, I do think that this show, besides Harold, has brought like out the best in these actors, because there's so many things. It's not just about putting people in like desperate times, but it's how like it's showing all the layers of being human, like how you overcome things, how you handle situations. What are you going to do in the situation? Like, are you going to take action? Are you going to sit there? So I think it's bringing out so many layers of these actors that are showing us different sides, making us connect in so many different ways. And it's really just very unique and powerful. So
I do want to mention someone. He was one of my favorite characters. I feel like every time we talk about From, I have to pay homage to Reed Price, aka Tom, the bartender. I feel like he had an unfair.
Yes.
I feel like he had an unfair ending, man. He ain't had to go down the way he went down.
What's funny? When he died, I was like, oh, we all about to die. They're not keeping none of us.
Listen, for you to actually end up in a place like Fromville, and you have a real job, like, are you cool with it? The last thing I want is to be working 9 to 5 in Fromville. Like, I'm not clocking in nowhere that I can't leave from.
Yeah.
And he was serious about even from having a bar is actually kind of crazy. But he was serious about his bartending, okay? Like, I feel like we always got to pay homage to him because his character, I don't even remember what season was it that he passed. Was it season 2?
It was season 2.
It was season 2?
The beginning of
season 2. Yeah.
I wish.
I want to ask y'all, so what use would y'all be if y'all got trapped in the town? Like, what would you guys be doing? You know, because Donna's like a leader, Boyd's a sheriff, Christy and Marielle are like the medical, Tien Chen was the cook. Like, what would y'all be doing?
So to answer that, I think I would probably be like the scavenger, the hunter kind of person, because I know that everybody. I would definitely be like a scavenger hunter, someone who gets supplies and like goes out looking for food and resources, because I know that that'll run out, and I'm the type to be like, okay, I can't run out of supplies for myself and for anyone else because I won't be able to function. Yeah. So I think I would definitely be the one like going out in the woods and searching for stuff, like not at night, but during the day, like, you know.
So immediately I would want to do nothing, because why would y'all send me here to work? like let's be for real here. But if I'm thinking logically, career-wise, I'm gonna be a teacher because Ethan ain't been to school in 18 years. So Ethan ain't been to school. This man has been in the school of From since he got there. And now that I think about it, no one cares that Ethan Ethan, Julie's a high school dropout. Boyd's son, Ethan then dropped out of elementary, middle. Like, they need teachers in From.
I mean, there's everything but Victor be doing is coloring all day. Like, they're not learning nothing.
Yeah. I'm telling Victor then dropped out of school at age 7, and we see how far he got raising himself. Right. They need a teacher in From.
They should be doing long division right now. Like, it's time. Long division and fractions.
It would have helped him counting them tree steps. It would have helped a little bit. He over there stepping one foot in front of another. Get that man a ruler. Somebody
should have said, how many inches are in a foot? You don't know.
You don't want to know.
He's like, well, I wear size 10. So Victor figuring out where the trees are in season 2, and I think in season 3, I think maybe it was in season 2, and he's like, the trees are moving or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that has to be like just so iconic to me, because Victor, everybody's worrying about food, crops, everything. Victor is like one of those characters. Well, first of all, to the actor that plays Victor, I saw what you looked like when you're not playing Victor, and 10s across the board. Like, you did that, because when you play Victor, you got into that role. When I seen what he looked like his acting headshots, I said, I've been catfished. Like, I've been bamboozled, hoodwinked, and led astray by Victor, because he actually looks completely different. So I love how he's able to get into the role. But Victor's such a unique character to me, because it's like he don't do a lot, but he does too much at the same time. Yeah. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I see what you're saying. I like Victor. Like, Victor to me is more of a tamer version of Jade. And that's kind of, I'd be in between.
Really?
Yeah. Because you gotta think, they both want to figure out what's going on. They both are willing to look at things differently than anyone else who has ever been in the town. And they're the ones that are slowly piecing this together. And I feel like if I was in the situation and From, I'd be I wouldn't be as like bold and sporadic decision making like that Jade has. I wouldn't be that, but I also wouldn't be as like secretive and quiet as Victor is, and like, I'm just gonna write in my notebook what's going on. So I feel like I'll be like Boyd. I probably would have like went out and found the talismans or something like that. And then too, once, let's say Boyd came back and said it was like, oh, these will protect us. Once he found the talismans, I feel like once I know it's magic, okay, now I'm all in. Because y'all know I love some magic. Let's figure this out now. Now it's magic, bet I'm in.
No, I think but I like how you said that, RJ. I think there is definitely like those two. I see why you compare them now, because there's a balance. Because it's like they are the only ones, if you break it down, like really searching for those answers and getting those answers. Yeah. And because like even though Victor's been there way longer than anyone else, especially Jade.
Yeah.
Jade's still like a part of like that figuring it out kind of place in this universe. So I think I think you might like you said yourself. I don't think you'd be like either one of them. I think you would be probably right in the middle, because I think that like you probably would have enough. Like, and then there's that time where you'd be like, I don't really care. But then there's that middle part where it's like you gotta,
because Jade is too reckless and Victor is not all there, and so if Victor's mental state was better, he'd be more effective in getting answers. Because okay, great, the trees are moving. Now what? We've established that.
Soon as Victor would be like, the trees are moving and there's cars in the lot.
Like,
okay. He's like, no, this has happened before. That's Victor. He don't talk in full sentences. But again, we've established he raised himself from age 7 in isolation. So I guess his adult character is the outcome of raising yourself from age 7 in isolation to now. If you ain't talked to nobody for a very long time, I see why you don't be talking to him now for real. Because you've been talking to yourself for all these years. So I think it kind of makes sense. But you know what I just thought about, Jay, when you talked about Jade? Remember when Jade first hit From? Mm-hmm. Jade thought all this was a game. His whole like thing when he came into From, he's like, "Oh, y'all got me. This is amazing. Was this MG? Who did this? This is Disney, right?" But for him to evolve into the role he did into season 3, to be like such a major character from thinking this was a game, I'm like, maybe I need to go back and watch season 1 because maybe they were telling us that all along, because he came in on the tip of like, it's a game, we have to figure it out, but he didn't think it was real. But where we left him in season 3, he was doing the same thing, but in a method that he's like, no, this is real and I got to figure it out. So I don't know.
That man went from this is an escape room to like, oh no, this is a room we need to escape. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. I'll put it like this. He went from pissy drunk to just a little drunk.
Yeah,
I think it was the meth. I think Jade was on a little bit more than the liquor. Like when he came into From.
He might have done a couple lines.
Maybe.
Before he saw that tree, he did a line.
He probably did do a line or 2.
Oh
yeah,
God.
I think that's the best part of like, because like there's so many characters to relate to, but it's also not just about like how you relate. I think it's about seeing how they problem solve, and as I was mentioning earlier, like overcome stressful situations, because this show is about like seeing how people can operate in stressful situations. And I think Jay, we've seen like a huge evolution from him from season 1 to season 3.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And like Jay mentioned that, he thought it was a joke at first, but it's like for some people it also shows that like how long can someone live in delusion until they realize that like this shit is real. So, and that Jay was a prime example of that, I think, and that's what makes this show so good, because you have characters like that live in this delusion, and they finally get it together and realize they come back to this reality because they've lived so long in this place in their heads of thinking like, it's so funny, but really they know it's not deep down.
See, too, another thing that's really good about the show, I know we talked about the performances, the characters, but the actual story in and of itself, the mystery of the town, for me, is what really draws me in. And I mean, we know it's a show and it can only last for so long, but the characters, to them, this is all real. And so I can only imagine. I mean, we know it's coming to an end soon, whether they do, 1 more season, 2 more seasons. We know it's about to end. These characters are living in this, and this is their real life. And so I'm thinking about how maddening it must be to not know when all of this is going to end, or if it is ever going to end. Yeah, you may have discovered the talismans, or you may have discovered the voice on the radio and things like that, but they still don't know how close they are to the end of this. And so they don't know if the piece they found is like, they don't know if the piece they found is the beginning to them getting home or the end of them getting home. And so I'm just thinking about how deep the story is. We've seen when they've gone to other settlements that have completely different, challenges and things like that. Heads on spikes and rocks and stuff like that. like just imagine thinking like, okay, the monsters are only here, and then you realize that they're everywhere. They don't even know themselves how big this town is.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And you know what? I
Mhm.
think the storytelling it does a really good job of giving us hope than ripping it away. Like
Absolutely.
we have to admit that when Tabitha went up to that lighthouse and fell through and came out into the real world, that was a major scene in the
Yeah.
whole From series.
Yeah,
Like at that moment, I feel like we all had hope, right? Like,
yeah,
oh, there's a
mhm.
way out until she starts going crazy in the car with Victor's dad, and now they're in the paramedics and they end back up. I'm like, Tabitha's like, whoa. And so I'm like, I don't know. That Tabitha scene in the lighthouse, I just felt I didn't know what was gonna happen. But honestly, the person I feel the worst for is Tabitha's mother, because why did you call this lady then disappear again?
Tabitha
Like
Tabitha pissed me off. Like
she called her mother and then she's like, "Are you okay, mom? I'm fine. I'm fine. How are the kids? We're fine, mom." Ma'am, she hasn't heard from you again. How much time has passed?
Tabitha irritated me, man. Like, but I also don't think that the town was right for like griping on her. Like she came back on purpose. Now to be real, if I was in Tabitha's shoes, I would just call it a wash. I'm out. Good luck to everybody else.
Yeah.
Would have started a whole new family, got a new husband, had
Yeah.
some more kids.
Yeah.
By the time Frumville took me back, I'm coming back with toddlers. Julie and Ethan gonna be like, "Who this?" Oh, well,
Like,
I
yeah,
utilized my time wisely while I was out here, so I didn't think I was gonna come back. Now we got toddlers.
Tabitha done got a degree, all that
Listen.
stuff. She done
And
paid
that-
off the student loans.
And I think
Oh
that
my
shows.
God.
I think that's what's like so interesting about the show too, because it's like with these characters too. It's like they all have a choice, especially like to do something. But now I'll have that choice to be in that position, that moment where they exited that reality, and because I think most people wouldn't come back. I mean, let's just be honest. I don't think most people would, because why would you want to go through that hell again? And I think that's the best part about the show is that it's showing how desperate people are. It's showing like the delusion behind it. It's showing what are you willing to sacrifice and risk and to do to make sure that there is an end, or there's at least some steps to a beginning to get to the end. And I think that's what makes it so interesting. Because I mean, honestly, if I was Tabitha, I probably would think about coming back, but it'd probably take me a while because I'd be like, I'm in this reality right now, and I got out finally. So why the hell would I go back?
I would
Especially
never
those people-
drive again. I would never drive again. You couldn't pay me to get in the car. I don't even want to be in a hearse to my own funeral if I was Tabitha. Like you could walk
The
me-
way I would have been on the first Delta flight out, they would have had to take the whole plane back to Frumville.
And
There's no I don't know. Like I don't know what if I was just from by myself, no husband, no kids, and I had the opportunity to get out, I know what I said. I was gonna save y'all, so I said. However, circumstances change, unfortunately, and I know I can't tell nobody about From when I get out because everyone's gonna think I'm nuts. And I'm not going to waste time being in a crazy hospital. So I'm just going to have to let bygones be bygones. I knew you when I knew you. We hope to see you again.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure I visit everybody's memorial, drop some flowers off, dandelion, something at everybody's memorial because everyone is missing or presumed dead at this point, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know what I would have did fully, but I don't even think I would have hit up Victor's dad. I was like, you two locked in, Tabitha. You two locked in. Like you called your mother and visited your father. Come on now.
At most, I would have went to the police station, and that would have been it. I would have went to.
You would have went to the police.
At most, just say, hey, I'm alive. Just think about it. I got to let the world know I'm alive. Listen. Stay with.
Okay.
All right. So I gotta let the world know that I'm alive, right? Because was Ellen around then? Ellen, Oprah. You got to do the talk show syndicate. Then you got the book deal. Then you have the Netflix documentary. I'm about to this. I'm gonna come up off of this. There's no way. I want them to know I'm back. I'm alive. And I'm writing it. I'm turning From into a book. Matter of fact, I'm gonna turn From into a show on MGM Plus. That's exactly what's going to happen. I'm coming up.
You're gonna have that Netflix documentary on set
I'm
up.
getting my
already.
Netflix documentary. We just talking junk, Shayna, about Tabitha and what we would have did if we would have got out. Cause yeah, she was too locked in for me. That's why I asked ended up right back in the town.
That's probably why she ended up back. You know how older people be like, you guys stay out of grown folks' business. I would have surely stayed out of front business. I was like, she over here looking for bottle trees and people, relatives. I would have been like, listen, it was nice knowing you. I've done what I could. It's like, to me, it would have been like going AWOL from the army. I've been like, yeah, y'all gonna have to get it back in blood because I'm not coming back easy.
They should have let, and I know this is Jay's boy. They should have let Randall out. Randall would have just forgot all about that. Randall would have moved on.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Though.
Randall been growing on the people though. Like you know what? That's what made me mad about Boyd when he left Randall to die. I will never forgive Boyd for that.
Yeah.
Don't nobody care about Randall but me.
I guess that's what it is. But Jay, I do want to point out something that you said though, because I think it's important. Because you mentioned it, like, you know, imagine how, like, or at least trying to, or getting out of a place, you know, that you didn't know how to get out of, and then going back to explain to other people, like, hey, this is this place that I was at, and then, you know, RJ, you do the whole Netflix documentary on it, make the book and all that. But imagine trying to explain that to somebody and saying it like, this is a place where there's a lot of other people, and it's like it's desolated, and exactly. And
they would have sent Victor to the nut house. There's no way.
There's no way, yeah. And I think that's to your point, Jay. I think that, you know, I think that was a great point in bringing it up because of how like there's so many factors in this on how everyone's story is different. Like if they were to get out, because they would explain it, they'd be saying the same thing, but it would be in a different way. So it's like, but still, it's like, how do you get somebody to believe that? How do you get somebody to believe you? Because I mean, let's be honest, Victor, if he came back and explained that the way in his condition and his disability, he'd be in a straight loony bin. But like, I think to your point, what I'm saying is that how can you be so like dense, I guess, especially, you know, in a place if you can't even understand what people are trying to say? Because I mean, it's hard to like believe somebody in that. Because RJ, imagine if I said, "Hey, RJ, I went through a black hole, and there's a bunch of other people on the other side."
There's a way. We're gonna have you committed, my guy. Like, I'm like, Des, we gonna have to.
I don't know. I would listen to the story at least. I would listen to him talk at least. I'm like, I would listen to the story. Exactly. The thing about it is, like, even in reality, I feel like the truth goes around one time, but a lie goes around a million. There's no way no one's going to believe their truth from. Like, that's when you said maybe the police. I'm not even going to them, because the last thing I want is for them to question me and think there's something wrong with me. The book, yes, they're going to think it's a fantasy.
Get the
bag. But you know what? I think that Gothic Chick mentioned another thing too, is that because if I came back and made a podcast, I'd be looked at as one of those podcast bros about like conspiracy theories. And why the hell would anyone believe me? Like, who's this guy? Like,
but you'd be rich. You'd be rich.
I would be rich.
You would have the best conspiracy theory in podcast world. Yeah. Like, they'll be like, dang, it might be one of those things that you this is how you get people, because it's kind of like adults are kind of like children in a way, right? You know, like kids, if you tell them not to touch it, they don't touch it because you said not to touch it. Yeah. You got to make the podcast saying it's fake. Then if you tell them it's fake, someone is going to research and be like, but wait,
they're going to start looking for the town.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You gotta. It's like toddlers. Like, tell them not to do something. Tell them something, they're going to do the opposite. So you would have to go into it saying, like, I'm tonight. Because the story continues, the fantasy, whatever. And soon as you do that, someone's going to be like, wait a minute. I had a friend that had a friend that had a friend that saw a tree in the road. Like, that's exactly what's going to happen.
A whole Reddit thread.
Oh, yeah.
Us and from. And like, but could you imagine though, right? What Tabitha felt when she realized she was back? I would have thrown up. Like, I would have been. She was strapped to that little thing, right? I would have. That would have been it. I'd have been
Tabitha crazy. She ain't even getting nothing to eat. I said, girl, you are insane. If y'all don't swing me by my favorite restaurant real quick, y'all don't know what I've been through. Tabitha didn't even get nothing to eat. I swear to you, I would have went to my nail tech, got something to eat, got my hair done, and been like, take me back now. I'm ready if you must. But Tabitha didn't even get nothing to eat. She not clocked in. It's not clicking. It's like, I'm like, she wasn't clocked in right. I swear to you, I'm like, brunch? Maybe I got a little bit time. I was like, call my nail tech.
First, I'd have been like, yo, what's new on Netflix? Like, what's out?
Right. Where would you been watching that? Well, Tabitha didn't have no money to get a hotel. The way I would like, Mom, come get me from where? Listen, come get me. I don't book me the flight. I don't have no ID, no nothing. Take me there.
I'd be like, hey, when's the next Avengers film coming out? Like, at that point, because I'm like, if I'm home, I'm gonna be comfortable. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's yeah.
So I have a real life story to ask y'all to compare it to From, based on what we're saying. So we're saying if From happened to us in real life, we already know people wouldn't believe us because the story's so insane. There's no way they would believe us, right? So I know both of y'all be on TikTok and y'all heard the story of Gerald the dolphin.
Nobody believes that man.
That's what I'm saying.
Some people do believe him though. Some people like I believe him. That's why they don't want us to talk to dolphins. Jay, your podcast, I'm telling you, you be rich, man. You would be rich if you started a podcast.
But Gerald the dolphin story is like a modern day From story. Nobody believes him. What do y'all believe him? That's how.
And you know the thing is, it's like
this. Shayna. So this white guy, he said that he was on the beach and a dolphin, took him into the water and they forced him down and they made him, because he's like an engineer or something like that. And they made him build an underwater, they made him build their underwater city. And so they had him inside this bubble, like this
air bubble. Gerald was blowing the air bubble so he could breathe for 3 days. So he could breathe.
And he was down there for a couple of days, he said. And so he resurfaced on the ocean, like completely traumatized. And so obviously everybody thinks he's crazy, but there's a subset of people who are like, see, this is why it's illegal to try to talk, because it is illegal to try to communicate with dolphins. And so that subset of people believe that he was kidnapped by Gerald the dolphin. The guy and the dolphin actually said his name was Gerald.
Mm-hmm. So again, modern day From story. I'm not saying if it happened or not, because I'm not gonna have nobody think I'm crazy. So I don't have an opinion on it since we live. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Modern day From story. The man said Gerald was down there. They had him working for 3 days, 3 nights. The man didn't even eat, apparently. But he didn't need to eat when he was underwater.
Yeah.
And you know, Jay, you know, it's funny, Jay, because that's equivalent to me to the same videos that are like, I'm sure you heard people say like on YouTube or even TikTok, like those people that be like, oh yeah, I'm a time traveler from the 17th century, and they try to like come telling the story like what's gonna happen or what happened, and that's not what happened. So it's kind of equivalent to that, because it's like we don't believe you, but there are a set of people who are like, yeah, because I had this happened to one of my friends or something like that. So I mean, there's that balance with that. So it's just like Jay said, I think which to your point is a good point, that
he was Shane.
No matter what you say, some people are going to believe it, but most people don't, because it sounds ridiculous.
Well, I think that's also the thing. And I think that's also the beauty of the people of the From Nation. I feel like I've given them like 20 different names of From Nation. I think that's the beauty of the fandom, right? Because I feel like if you watch From, you have an open mind to see all the mystical things happening, right? And accept them. What From throws at us. And I feel like you kind of have to have that mindset. Yeah, basically. Yeah, you kind of have to have that mindset when it comes to From, because you never know what they're going to throw at us. Like when they thought they killed Smiley, or is that legal to say?
Yeah, that's his name.
On a live Smiley, and Smiley came back up like, born again Christian. Like there's no way, right? There's no way. And even when the bugs up Boyd's hands and then all the weird stuff that's been happening, like you really, whoever the writer is, I actually don't know the name of the writer. Whoever the writer is, From, your imagination is absolutely crazy. I need you to come tell my kids bedtime stories every night. If you're making up stories like that, because it's absolutely insane. Like, how do you even think about some of those things, right? Yeah. Like, Smiley coming back was just like a mic drop for me, because I'm like, not that Fatima's your mom now. Like, is this how this works? Like, Fatima's your mom. I'm like, is that how this works? I don't know.
It's brilliant, man. Like, I love the show.
Mm-hmm. And you know what's funny about it too is that like it seems like everybody in the show it's just a topic. It seemed like since everyone I think what the show exposes too is that like it's not necessarily like it's not of course it's not black and white. I really think that this show, it really has like a gray area for everybody, because since everyone is so layered, it's like you're capable of doing good and bad things, but it depends on how you look at it and how people's views on everything. It's like, or some people, how they're still the same from the reality that they were in before. It's like they're bringing that still in here, and it's like that part of the delusion I keep mentioning, because it's like, some people are like, when are you gonna get it together? Or it's like, or are you really just like, are you stuck in your ways? It's just so interesting. So I think that with these characters, I think they're doing a good job of is exposing that gray area of humanity itself.
Yeah,
that's a great point, because when you talk about you're still like the way you were before, you're describing Acosta basically. Acosta got to be hot. That girl still had on her uniform, her full
work clothes.
She had on her work clothes for 18 days straight. Okay.
You know, when you got like a work uniform, you don't wash it like every time you wear it. So what if that's like her last day before she had to wash it, and now she like stuck in the uniform? What if you woke up and had a bad day, and then you in From?
You know, she reminded me of the cop, that lady cop. She reminded me kind of like, I know a lot of people don't play the Resident Evil games, but the scene from like Resident Evil where like Leon was entering like his first day as a cop, and then like he's stuck in this uniform this whole time trying to get out of this situation, but he's like trapped in this delusional. It's like, whoa, like there's these weird creatures and stuff coming after me, but like, is this real or is this not real? It's just I don't know. It just kind of made me think of that.
Oh, she definitely voted for him. She voted for him 3 times.
She did, unfortunately. She did.
She voted for him 3 times. Yeah,
I didn't know that. Did I know that?
No, I'm saying the character.
The character.
Yeah, she definitely.
Yeah. That's true, but also, Jay, what you said about people picking and choosing what is bad to them, that's another issue that I have with Boyd. I love you, Harold, but I got an issue with Boyd again, because it was okay when Fatima unalived Tilly, but when you basically made Elgin blind in one eye, or when Sarah came for Elgin, right? Y'all let that slide, right? I was like, you don't like Elgin's character? I like Elgin's character.
I love Elgin's character. I just feel like sometimes it calls for violence. Listen, y'all, I feel about Sarah bodies. Y'all, Sarah bodies all day. Y'all know how I feel about her. So
here you and your Sarah. You and your Sarah.
She did what she had to do.
That's dangerous. Okay, Sarah is the most dangerous person in From.
As she should be.
You know why she's dangerous? Because the demons are just comfortable taking over her body. Okay, Sarah has been doing it.
A win is a win.
I will have to agree with RJ on this just a little bit, a fraction, because like it's like you got to do something. You got to, at least in my eyes, and see that's the part. Of course, I think that everything's right. That's a layer of me being human, but I think it's just because I don't think it's just because of being human. I also think it's for show purposes, because you do want to like add like a little excitement to it, but like to the point where it's not like a complete surprise, because like we know how the characters are layered. We know who she is, and she's caught these bodies over these years. So it's like anything can happen at this point. So it's predictable, but it's also unpredictable.
Yep.
We already know Sarah's a hitter from. Like, we know she a hitter.
I'm
Like,
telling you.
we know who we gonna call.
Yeah.
If
Sure.
the bot, we know who we're gonna call. But again, I think it's the bias in from too, which is just alarming to me. Like, Tilly was unalived and nobody cared. Randall was left to die and no one cared.
Mhm.
Tom was left to die and no one has ever mentioned him. I'm just saying, like,
house fell on him, you know. You couldn't do much.
Listen, Julie had a bad bob in the preview of season 4.
She had the bob at the end of season 3. That shit was almost as bad as Mario's
Banks.
Man, I hate
Oh
that.
Man, yeah, don't even start.
Julie's bob at the end of season 3 like took over like TikTok. I was like, the fact that I thought it was only our culture that called bobs until I got on TikTok. I said, oh, we all call it a bob. I was like, I didn't know that. Like Julie's blunt cut bob, it wasn't giving, unfortunately. But how do y'all feel about the development of like Julie's character from kind of being a rebellious teen who wanted to live in Colony House and not in town with her family? Because that was a big moment in From as well. Like, and that's how much From has evolved now that I think about it. Because remember when it was like, so where are they going to live? They had this whole thing. Once you pick where you're going to live, you can't switch it up. It was like a whole thing between town and Colony House, right? And Julie being rebellious and basically sleeping on a couch or like a cot in Boyd's son's and Fatima's room because she didn't want to be around her parents. How do you all think about the evolution of her character throughout the seasons?
I personally think that, you know what it is, because I mean that's a great question, by the way. I think what we're seeing is a remnants of Victor in some ways, because she's such at a young age, and because of her experience now, being in this frame, in this body now, and especially like who she is at this young age. I think there's some remnants of Victor experiencing the same thing that Victor did, because now I think she's starting to accept certain things. And maybe I feel if you want me to be honest, I think she's losing a lot of hope. I think that she's concerned of trying to find layers, but at this young age, I think was disrupting her from evolving even more. I think it's because now she's at a blockage of like accepting this reality at this young age, which can be kind of scary. And kids have all the hope in the world, but I think that she's growing up a little bit faster than she has to, because of this experience that she's been given to. So I think it sucks, of course, because no kid should go through that. No one should go through that. But I think that what we're seeing is maybe some things that Victor went through. It's like she has to accept this reality that she's in. But she might get to a point where she might just give up and let the adults handle it, or she might get to a point where she's going to do something about it, because she does still have a little bit of hope left in her. And I think that's what makes her so interesting, because you can't necessarily see that in her eyes. You know how they say the eyes tell a story? I think you can see only just a little bit of that fire, that spark in her. Not, you can't see the whole picture.
Right. I think that makes a lot of sense, relating to her character. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense, because her rebelliousness comes from a lot of things. Her parents going on a divorce trip and ends up in From, like, that's the worst divorce trip of their life. Yeah. Imagine you wanted to divorce your spouse. You wanted to divorce your spouse, and then you get stuck with them in a place you can't leave. The pastor's dead, by the way. No one could, no one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've grown to like Julie.
Yeah.
She wasn't my favorite character, but I have definitely grown to like her between the first 3 seasons of the show. Randall is still number 1 for me, but I've definitely grown to like Julie.
She's definitely like giving me like a seesaw, because she's just I feel like she's unbalanced, but unbalanced at the same time because of her, like what she's going through. So I think, like I said, you can't really see everything as a whole, what like is through her eyes, or like what she's going through. I think it's something that is going to have to just play out because of like what we're going to see her do and her decisions she's going to make going forward.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So what? Well, I guess we'll ask
like
Jay.
Julie.
Okay.
Oh, my internet's acting stupid, by the way, so I'm probably behind. But I like Julie. I feel like she was exponentially as a character. I feel like she's in a position to where she was bratty, but I think her circumstances don't allow her to be a rebellious teenager, and so she has to grow up pretty quickly.
Yeah,
I feel that. So I guess, what do we have left? So Jay, what are your? I guess we only could ask you really. What are your assumptions or predictions for season 4? And everyone in the chat, T Wade, Shayna, Gothic Chick, everyone else, what do you think season 4 is going to bring?
I think season 4 is going to bring a few more answers. We're not going to get everything we want. I think that, my opinion, I think what will happen is that there might be another person that will fill that spot where Tabitha was at, like getting out of that reality and then going back, and then maybe not coming back. I mean, I could be wrong. And I also think that there's going to be a few more characters that might come in. I think there's somebody is probably going to die brutally. Don't know who that is yet. And I also think that Jim's going to come back and RJ's going to be mad.
Okay.
I'm joking, but no, I'm joking about the Jim thing, but but no, I think that I think that besides that, that's all I gotta say. Yeah.
Not the poll about Randall. Is Randall a loser? Yes, definitely, absolutely, for sure.
Make sure you get your answers in, people.
Oh man, you know what I wish From had? Where's the merch? MGM, where's the From merch?
Wait a minute.
Where is the merch?
No,
where's the merch?
They can keep that merch because people are making talismans. I don't want that on my door. I don't want none of that.
Where are they getting it from? Etsy?
Like, Etsy, yeah, people making talismans. I don't want none of
that. Okay. I'll have to rewatch the last season, but I'm really hoping Jim lives.
Oh, I won't say nothing. I won't say nothing.
The man had his throat ripped out. Like, he's gone.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. If we watch The Walking Dead, everybody that got their throat slashed wasn't gone for real. So I don't know. We don't know. They
just didn't have their throat ripped out by a monster. Like, well,
oh, true. No. Yeah. I think Julie's her own ancestor, kind of like. Okay.
That's a good theory.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I need my From hoodie.
Yeah, I haven't seen any like From merch. I haven't seen any shirts. Like even on Amazon, I haven't seen like any shirts or any kind of accessories or anything.
Love you. So it's my favorite. It's my favorite cousin. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice.
We are dealing in time travel here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are my predictions, though. I think we'll get a little bit more answers, but I think that it's not going to be everything that we expect, especially because it's going to be just nothing in the show is going to go your way. I think that's the best part about it, and if it does, then it's still not going to go the exact way that you expect it to be.
Mm-hmm. So. I agree. From is unpredictable, but that's what I really love about it. There's not one. From the last 3 seasons, there's not one thing that I was like, oh, this is what's going to happen, and it actually happened. So From definitely is unpredictable, and I love that.
It is unpredictable, and I'll stand on that. And those of you who are in groups making predictions that are too on the nose, we know what you're doing, and I'll leave it. We know what you're doing.
We see you.
You've been caught.
Yeah, you've been caught.
And reported to the proper authorities.
What y'all doing? Y'all too accurate. This is not a show where you can be that accurate. So we see you and we don't like you. Stop messing the show up for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So those are our thoughts on From thus far, and I cannot wait to talk about this show with you guys weekly. I feel like we agreed that we're going live on Tuesdays. I feel like I'll give people enough time to watch Sunday's episode, and then we'll go live around this time again, like 7 o'clock, 6:45. We'll probably do 6:45, 7, and go from there. But yeah, we definitely enjoyed yapping with you guys today about From. Cannot wait for you guys to all join us again. Like I said, we can't. Well, Dr. J and I have seen a few of the episodes, and we can't say what happened. We can tell you that you guys definitely need to be tuning in.
Yes,
exactly. Yeah. There was leaks and stuff like that, and it was whack. Like we ruining the viewing experience is super garbage. And it's one thing to like let stuff slip, but people were purposely spoiling stuff like that. They were TikToks showing the ending. I didn't like that. Don't do that.
Yeah, I think people need to stop doing that because like if y'all are for those watching this, call out those people, but make sure that like don't be one of those people either because it does ruin the experience. And I know people get excited for things, I get that, but let that excitement for yourself. Like don't go on social media and try to ruin it for everybody else because really it's not fair.
It's not fair at all.
And I did want to say definitely shout out to Amazon and MGM for giving myself, RJ, and whoever else, a seat at the table to even be able to see the episodes before they air and things like that. And we can't tell you what's going to happen, but what we can say, like he said, is you want to tune in. You don't want to miss it. Every episode in season 4 is amazing, and it's gonna give you what you need. Like I think it's gonna be the best show of the spring summer. Summer best show of spring summer. So
that will be the fandom is going to reassemble for this, and people are gonna enjoy it. So yeah, guys. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in to our from season 1 through 4. I should have put 3. I don't know why I put 4. Whatever. Seasons 1 through 3 app session. Don't forget to tune in every Tuesday around 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
CP time, y'all.
Yeah, we be all the time sometime, but not all the time. But just stick around, Or what you could do is turn on your notifications. That way you do not miss when we actually hit the live button. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be sat right there with you, Shayna, watching.
I'll be watching on Sunday. I'll be watching
Sunday. Just to be part of the fandom still, I'm gonna get on.
Yeah, I'll watch.
I get on Blue Sky and tweet about it and stuff like that. If you don't have a Blue Sky account, y'all need to get one. It's the alternative. It's the left wing Twitter, so y'all need to hop on Blue Sky. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the flip side later days.
No one cares for Jim.
No one does. All right, well, we have an outro video, so we're just gonna end it. I don't know what happened. All right, later.